Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 2 of our Spring Security course. Right. So in the first lesson, I gave you a high level of overview about the Spring Security, right? What kind of a feature it brings into the picture, what all it does for you, and what are the authentication and the authorization process, right? So I'm going to focus more towards the web application, and now I want to cover a really critical or the core concept of the Spring Security. So I will go to a certain details, but I'm not going to get into a very in depth. The reason is because let's grasp the initial understanding, and then we will keep on digging into the internals of the Spring Security. So in this one, I'm going to talk about the Spring Security filter chains. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. There's a question mark right after the security. All right. So the entire infrastructure of a Spring Security, and if you are securing your web application, the entire infrastructure revolves around the filters chain. So what does that mean is a Spring Security comes up with a certain number of different filters, and those filters have a certain the responsibilities to do. For example, it will check whether you have a valid username or password. It will convert it into a Spring representation which Spring can understand. It also check for, let's say, CSRF token. It checks for certain other things, right? So each and every request will go through the certain go through a certain set of filters, and then if it passes, it goes to the your controller, right? That's your end goal. But if, let's say, if there is some issue, basically you will get some error, right? So it's really critical to understand about the Spring Security filters, how the entire infrastructure works, how they works together to make sure that your application is secure and is working as expected. Okay. All right. So that's a high level of understanding, but before that, I just want to give you an overview how a standard web request work in any of the web application. So it doesn't matter if you're on any of the web application, right? You have a very standard workflow. In terms of the MVC controller, there might be something else. For example, in search tool, those are action, right? Or let's say you're working on a different platform, they call it as something different. But the core structure, if I'm talking about this filter chain, right? This is going to be same. So every request, it's a client application. It doesn't matter if it's an end user or a client API which is calling our web services, right? Or our controller. So every request will get into a certain filters. If you have not configured it, there are already predefined filters, servlet filters, right? And then, for example, in the Spring Security or even a Spring web application, there are certain filters, right? So every request will pass through those filters, and if it passes through all the filters, then eventually it will go to the resource and execute that required operation. So in short, that's the life cycle of any request. Now within this life cycle, what is going to happen is the Spring Security filters will fit into this section which talks about the filter chain, right? So before we get into the filters, right, or the Spring Security filters, let's do one thing. So in our previous lesson, right, in the first tutorial, we created a basic application. Now what I want you, go to your application.properties, and let me increase the size. Okay, close this one for now. Okay, so add this property logging.level.org.spring framework security web filter chain debug. So what I'm going to do is, for the filter chain proxy, I'm going to set the debug level, the logging level as a debug. Okay, so this is what going to happen is, this is start giving you some additional information about the Spring Security and how the requests are being handled internally by the Spring Security. Add this and start your application. All right, so my application started. I'm just going to clear it so that we have a clear picture. Okay, now what I want you to do is, go to your web browser and add any valid URL. If you add invalid URL, even that will work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add account that was our initial URL. Okay, click on enter and it will go to the login page. Now let's go back here and see few things, okay, which is really critical for you to understand. Okay, let's increase the size a little bit. Okay, so my initial request was intercepted by the filter chain proxy. Okay, and or in short, it's being intercepted by the Spring Security. Now there are certain filters we have not configured those filters, right? All we did is we only enable the Spring Security in our application. But the moment we enable a Spring Security, there are a certain or a default that will get into the picture. So it includes a certain filters. So every request for our application is being intercepted and it's going through all those filters, right? So what I want you to understand is that there is already a 12 filters which are configured for us by the Spring Security, right? And it's basically intercepting every request and going through this set of a filter. If you see account home, that was our initial request, right? That's where we want to go. So that request was intercepted. It went through all these 12 filters, and then because it's a secure, we are securing our application, so we were redirected to the login page by Spring Security, and even onto the login page, right? If you see, the same set of filters were executed, right? So every request as of now, the moment we enable our Spring Security, every request will go through these filters. These are just the default set of filters, but you can add your own custom filters, and the let's say down the line when we start working on the different features of the Spring Security like OAuth, LDAP and other things, this list will keep on, like these default list of the filters, you will see that okay, list is growing with every new feature we add into the picture. Okay, now so what's happening behind the scene, right? So to summarize it, there is a delegating filter proxy. Okay, every request in your application, so if you are working on a Spring Boot application or you are working on a Spring MVC application, that is going to be your entry point to the application. Okay, so what it happen is every request goes through this delegating filter proxy and it intercept the request, and now based upon the URL, it tries to determine what is the filter chain or what are the set of the filters which we should execute before we pass that request to our controller. Okay, so that's a standard behavior, but as its name suggests, right, delegating filter proxy is not going to execute that logic. In fact, it is going to pass on that responsibility to basically to the filter chain proxy, and that's where the core logic happens. So if you are working on your Spring Security application, let's say something is going wrong and you're really not able to figure it out what's going wrong, filter chain proxy should be your go-to point. Add a debugger point there because that's a centralized system for the Spring Security. Every request, all the core functionalities are handled through the filter chain proxy. Okay, now the filter chain proxy is basically it's responsible. So the delegating filter proxy will handle the the responsibility to the filter chain proxy, and this has the information for everything. For example, what are the different security filters, and when I'm saying a security filter, that means a stack of filters. Okay, to give you an idea, that means that let's say my application is serving for two different things. One is I have a REST APIs, and second one is I have a web application, and for both of these endpoints I want to have a different set of filters. So I can configure those set of a filter. I will say any request which goes with /API ** will have these set of a filter, should have these set of a filter. Any request that goes with /web ** means anything after web, should have those set of the security filters, right? So that information resides into our filter chain proxy. Okay, and the filter chain proxy basically determines what are the security filter chains. And when you're saying a security filter chains, it's not a one filter, it's a set of the filters. Okay, so this is what I was talking on the earlier slide. So we have a client which can be anything, a customer, an actual customer hitting our web application, or let's say a REST client which is trying to get some information from our application using the REST APIs, right? So they will go to the certain filter chain, and one of them is a delegating filter proxy. So it basically, if you say this line, this says that it contains the filter chain proxy. So filter chain, so it delegates all the information or all the responsibility to the filter chain proxy, and our filter chain proxy is responsible to see what is the URL. This is what I was talking about. Let's say you have a two variation of your API, v1 and v2, and those have a different set of a requirement in terms of the securities and other things. So your one filter chain will have, let's say, 3 filters. Those can be any filters. And what you're saying is, and these configurations reside into the filter chain proxy. I'm going to talk about a little bit about how you configure it into the real application, but I just want you to understand one thing. That's a core framework how the Spring Security works internally, and it's really critical that we understand it, right? So, and you can have an n number of different filter chains configured within your filter chain proxy. Okay. Next tutorial, I'm going to talk about how the request matching happens, how the Spring determines whether you will be redirected or you will get a login page. I'm going to talk about a little detail in that lesson. I'm also going to talk about how the filter chains, delegated filter proxies work internally, how your request is intercepted, right? There is no mapping for that. So I'm going to talk about those things as well in the next lessons. I hope you like this one. If you like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching this tutorial.